Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going through the Royal Schools of Music 2020 Grade 1 sample paper. So if we just read through the first page here, you'll see you've got 1.5 hours to complete this paper with a total mark of 75. Further down the page, they give you some terminology. Bar, also known as a measure, semibreve, can also be called a whole note, minim, half note, crotchet, quarter note, quaver, eighth note, and semiquaver can also be called a 16th note. All right, let's get straight into it. So, section 1 is rhythm, and they are asking, circle the correct time signature for each of these bars, and they've given us some time signatures here to choose from. So let's look at example A, and we can pick 2/4, 4/4, or 3/4. So these are all time signatures that are counting crotchets. So we're going to be looking for crotchets. So let's go in and count crotchets. There's one there. All right, so that's our first crotchet. And then we have a quaver rest followed by a quaver. So we know that a quaver is half a beat. So 2 quavers add up to a crotchet. So our second crotchet beat is going to be here over this rest. And this note here, this semiquaver, is going to be on our third crotchet beat. And let's just check how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4 semiquavers. 4 semiquavers add up to a crotchet. So this is going to be crotchet number 3. And then right at the end, we have a crotchet, the fourth one. So the answer to this example is 4/4. There are 4 crotchets in this bar. Example B. Okay. Well, we've got a crotchet here at the end, but let's look at what's going on here. We've got a dotted 8th note followed by a semiquaver. I should probably call them quavers. A dotted quaver followed by a semiquaver. So this dotted quaver is worth 3 semiquavers because it's adding half of its value into it. So 3 semiquavers plus a semiquaver equals 4 semiquavers, and we've already seen up here that 4 semiquavers are equal to a crotchet. So this is going to be our first crotchet here, and these are going to add up to a crotchet, and this is our second one sitting there all alone at the end of the bar. So the end of the bar, I beg your pardon, the answer to this question is 2/4. There are 2 crotchets in this bar. Example C. All right, we've got a dotted crotchet here. All right, so let's just have a look at what the possible answers are. C, this stands for common time, which is just another way of writing 4/4. And then 2/4, 3/4. So we're counting crotchets again. All right. So this is going to be our first beat here. It's a crotchet. It's a little bit longer than crotchet, but this contains our first one. Then we have a quaver. So where is this quaver falling in the beat? Well, it's not on the downbeat. It's not on a beat. It's just after it, because this dotted crotchet here is carrying over onto the second beat of the bar. So our second beat is actually going to be, if we write it down in the middle there, somewhere in the middle. So the half a beat here, the crotchet that's added on, plus this one equals our second crotchet of the bar. And then quaver, quaver equals a crotchet. So this is where our third beat's going to be. And the answer to this question is 3/4. There are 3 crotchets in this bar. Right, let's move to section 1.2. Add the one missing bar line to each of these 5 melodies. Cool. So we've got our time signature at the beginning here. This one is 2/4. So we want to count 2 beats and then add a bar line. So let's count our first crotchet. 1, 2, 3, 4 semiquavers equals a crotchet, and this is the first note in the bar, the first thing that's happening. So this is where our 1 is probably going to be. 1 crotchet. And then we have a quaver and a quaver rest. And we know that quaver plus a quaver can add up to a crotchet. So this is going to be our second beat here. Right, well, we found 2. So let's add our bar line. We could even work backwards. And because we know that this minim is worth 2 beats, we know that that's going to be the next bar because we're counting in 2/4. So you could work backwards. All right, example B. We are in 3/4 here, so we want to count 3 crotchets and then add our bar line. Here's 1, here's 2, and then we've got 2 quavers. So that's going to be where our third beat is, and the bar line is going to be just there. And let's check if these add up to 3 crotchets. Crotchet, dotted crotchet, so that's 1.5 beats plus half a beat. So this is going to be adding up to 2 beats. And then 2 quavers here, which add up to 1. So 2 plus 1, that's 3. So that's correct. Okay, example C. We're in 4/4, and we start with a minim. So this minim is going to be beats 1 and 2. And there's a crotchet, 3 and 4, and we add our bar line after the 4th beat because there are only 4 beats in each of these bars. And let's check that this adds up to 4. Quaver plus quaver equals a crotchet, so that's 1. Quaver plus quaver equals a crotchet, so that's our second beat. And then we have 2 beats there, 3 and 4. Nice. Okay, example D. We are in the time signature of 2/4. So let's count 2 crotchets. This is our first beat of the bar. It's a dotted crotchet, so it's worth 1.5 beats. And this is a quaver, half a beat. So these are going to add up to our 2 beats here. So we'll just put our 2 counter there. And that's where our bar line's going to go after the second beat. Does this add up? Let's see. Here's 1. So we know 1 is there. And if that's 1 on its own in this bar, this is going to be the second beat of the bar, which means the first beat of the bar is going to be here. And 2 semiquavers plus a quaver equals a crotchet. All right, 3/4 is our time signature for example E. So we need to count 3 beats, and after the 3rd beat, we are going to add our bar line. So what's this? A dotted quaver. That's our first beat there. Dotted quaver plus semiquaver. Well, that's just 4 semiquavers, isn't it? Like here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that that adds up to a crotchet. So this is our first beat here, these 2. And then we've got 2 crotchets. So 2, 3. And we found our first bar. Does this add up? Let's find out. 1. This has to be on the second beat. 2. We've got 4 semiquavers, so we know that that adds up to a crotchet. So the next crotchet after it has to be on the 3rd beat of the bar. And there we go. We found our bar lines for these bars. All right, section 1.3. Tick 1 box to answer each question. Question A. How many quavers are there in a dotted minim? So they want to know how many quavers there are in a dotted minim. And our options are 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what is a dotted minim? It's just a minim with half its value added to it. That's what this dot is doing. So this minim, if we work it out in crotchets, is worth 3 crotchets, right? But watch out, they're asking for quavers. So how many quavers can we fit into these crotchets? Well, a quaver is half a beat. It's half a crotchet. So we are actually going to put 2 quavers into each of these 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 quavers in a dotted minim. Okay. Example B. How many crotchets are in a semibreve? So what is a semibreve? It is a 4-beat note. All right, 4-beat note, 4 crotchets. That's just something that we have to know. 1.4. Tick 1 box to show which bar is grouped correctly. Okay. Well, let's look at this one first. What's the rhythm of this? Ta 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 ta. That is not grouped correctly. These should be joined up together like that and not connected to that, because these are the 2nd beat of the bar and these are the 3rd beat of the bar. So that's wrong, that's out. Let's have a look at this one. Ta 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 ta. All right, again, these should be joined together, and this shouldn't be here. Like this. This shouldn't be connecting bar. And these should be connected to each other, because these 2 quavers here are on the 3rd beat. These 4 semiquavers here are on the 2nd beat. And this crotchet is on the 1st beat. So no, example 2 is out. So this is our answer here. Yeah, this is correct. We've got beat 1, 2, and 3. Much easier to read that way. 1.5. Tick or cross each box to show whether the rests are correct or incorrect. All right, so we're in 4/4. So let's have a look at this first bar. Is this rest correct? Well, it's the 3rd and 4th beat of the bar, so it's a 2-beat rest. That is correct. What about this one? That is also correct. All right, we've got beats 1, 2, and 3, 4. Yep, that's correct. All right, what about this one? Ta 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 ta. Yeah, that looks good to me as well. So they're all correct. There isn't really anything else you could do here. There's no other way of writing this. And there's no rests in this. Okay, 1.6. Tick 1 box which shows the 4 notes written in order from the shortest value to the longest value. All right, shortest value to the longest value. So they all start with semiquavers, which are the shortest in this entire example. What is next here? This one is a dotted quaver. And this one is a minim. So this is looking good. And a dotted quaver. All right, so it could be this one or this one. And then we've got a minim here. All right, so we know that it's not the middle one. It's going to be one of these two. So minim, that's 2 beats. Semibreve, that's 4 beats. It's this top one. Semibreve is 4 beats long. Let's count the beats here. So a semibreve is 4 beats. A minim is worth 2 beats. This is a dotted quaver, so it's actually 1 1/4 beat. And this is a 1/4 of a beat. So top line, That's our answer right there. Okay, section 2, pitch. 2.1, tick one box to show the correct name of each note. Cool. Example A, very important that we make sure we pay attention to the clef. So we're in the bass clef here. And also our key signature, we've got an F sharp. So if we follow along there, that is on the F line, and it's an F sharp in the key signature. So our answer is going to be F sharp. Example B, very important, make sure you're reading the clef. You've got a treble clef here, and this is on the top line. So the top line of the treble clef is F. Example C, treble clef, and I'm sure we all recognize this note. This is middle C. However, there's a sharp sign before it, so it's going to be a C sharp. Okay, example D, bass clef. The top line of the bass clef. What is that note? So if you're unsure, find a note that you know. But I know that this is C. I'm sure of that. That's one that I know very well. So you just count up. Line, space, line, space, line. C, D, E, F, G, A. Let me get A. All right, example E. Treble clef, middle line. That's the B line, but there's a flat before it, so it is indeed B flat. Example F. All right, we are back in bass clef, and our key signature here is 1 flat. However, that's not affecting the note here. This is our note. So bottom line of the bass clef, it's a G. Okay, example G. Treble clef, and we're in the top space. And what's the rhyme for the spaces? Face. Face in the space. So this one is E. All right, 2.2. Tick the lower note of each of the pairs of notes. All right, what have we got going on here? We've got bass clef, and then a C natural, and a C sharp. Well, it's a C natural, because if we put a sharp sign in front of it, it raises it up 1 semitone. So this is our low note here. Bass clef again, for example, B. All right, so this is E. All right, this is the E space. And then we have E flat. And remember, we're looking for the lower note of each pair. So E flat is going to be our lower note. Why? Because a flat moves a note down a semitone, down from that. So this one is the lower of these two notes. All right, treble clef, we've got a B flat and a B. And of course the B flat is the lower, because a flat sign moves the note down a semitone. A semitone down from B is lower. And our last example, F sharp and F. Well, F sharp is going to be our higher pitch. F is going to be our lower pitch. Why? Because just like in this example here, the sharp sign moves the note up by a semitone. So this is going to be our lower note here, F natural. Right, 2.3, tick the correct clef needed to make each of these named notes. All right, in which clef is that a G? Well, I think we did actually answer a question up here somewhere. There it is. It's our G. We already know that one, don't we? So it's going to be bass clef. How about this? In which clef is this E? I think we also had this. Yeah, we did. There it is. E. Remember, F-A-C-E, face in the space. So our answer is going to be treble clef. Treble clef. There it is. That is E in the treble clef. All right, C. Which clef is that C? So the answer is bass clef. Because remember, middle C, which is what this note is, looks like this in the bass clef. And if we go back up, it looks like, well, not quite like that. That's a C sharp. But that line there in the treble clef, that's where we find our middle C. And example D, B flat. So which clef is this B flat? Did we have this one up here? I don't think we did. No, we had B flat in the treble clef, but we didn't have B flat in the bass clef. Anyway, this is bass clef. That's where you find B flat in the bass clef. Okay, section 3, keys and scales. Tick one box to show the correctly written key signature of F major. So if you've been practicing your scales, and you by now know some key signatures, F major is going to be one you know. And you should know that F major has one flat in it, and that flat is B flat. So is this a B flat? Well, firstly, that is a sharp sign, so it can't be a flat, and it's on the F line, so no. Is this a B flat? Yes, it's a flat, and it is on the B line in the bass clef. So this could possibly be our answer. I know this is the answer, but we're going to go through this anyway because they've done some things here to try and trick you, to try and make you think twice. So this here, this flat, if you weren't paying attention, you might think, ah, yes, this is the answer. You'd be correct if this was a treble clef, because in the treble clef, this is B. But in bass clef, this is D, so this would be a D flat. And that's definitely not the key signature for F major, so that's not our answer. This isn't either. Let's cross that out. What about this one? So in the bass clef, what is this space up here? That's a B. So that's a B flat. So is that correct? No, that's not where we write the key signature. We write the key signature down here. It just looks better. It makes much more sense to start from that line. So this is not the correct placing, not the correct octave, but it is the correct note. So this is our answer down here. B flat, F major. Okay, 3.2. Tick one box to show the correctly written key signature of D major. Right. Quiz for you. How many sharps in the key of D major? 2. 2 sharps. And what are they? F sharp and C sharp. They are F sharp and C sharp. In that order, F sharp, C sharp. So we are looking for an F sharp and a C sharp. 2 sharps. It's not this one. That's only got 1 sharp in it. The rest have 2 sharps in them. So what's this? Treble clef. Top line is F, so that's an F sharp. This space here is C. That's a C sharp. So that fills our criteria for D major, so it could be that one. And it is that one. But again, we're going to go through and look at these examples here to try and see how they're tricking you with this answer. Right, here we go. This is exactly like the example above on this space here, but now they've reversed the roles because this is treble clef. If this was bass clef, this would be the correct answer, because in the bass clef, that's F and that's C sharp. That's F sharp, that's C sharp. But no, in the treble clef, that's D sharp and A sharp, and that's definitely not the right key signature for D major. And then we look at this one. Now this is an F sharp and a C sharp, but they are, just like this one was, written in the wrong octave. So when we write the key signatures, the sharp key signatures in treble clef, it always starts from this F sharp here. So this is not our answer, it is that one. .3 Tick 3 boxes to show which notes need an accidental to create a melody in the key of G major. Alright, so what's our key signature for G major? Is it flats or sharps? Here's another one that you'll know if you've been practicing your scales. G major has 1 sharp. It is F sharp. 1 sharp in the key of G major, and it is F sharp. So tick 3 boxes to show which notes need an accidental to create a melody in the key of G major. So which notes do we need to change to bring this into the key of G major? Well, it's going to be all the Fs. That needs to change to an F sharp. That's a G, so no. That's a D, so no. That's a G, so no. Ah, here we go. We've got an F. That needs to be changed to an F sharp. And where is our final F? That's a G, no. That's an A, no. That's a D, no. Ah, there it is. We need to change that to an F sharp. So we found our 3 notes that need to be given an accidental. Remember, an accidental, what does it mean? It means flat or sharp. .4 Tick 2 boxes to show the 2 pairs of notes in this scale which are a semitone apart. Alright, so what's a semitone? What's a semitone? It's the smallest distance between 2 notes. So C to D. Let's write the names of the notes above here. C to D. Is this a semitone apart? Is there a note that we can put in between these 2 notes? Yes, there is. We can put C sharp in between them. So this is not a semitone apart. All right, D to E. Is there a note that we can put between these 2? Yes, there is. It's E flat. So this is not a semitone apart. D and E are a tone apart. E to F. I think we found our answer here. Is there a note that we can put between E and F? E sharp? No. No, we can't. E sharp is an N harmonic equivalent of F. Alright? So E sharp would just be called F. There are keys that exist where E sharp is used, or F flat, but just for these purposes, we don't need to know that, because we know that E and F are a semitone apart. So we're looking for one more box. We've got 2 boxes. with notes that are a semitone apart. Let's keep going. F to G. Is there a note that fits between these two? Yes, F sharp fits between these two. So it's not this one. G to A. Is there a note that goes and fits between G and A? Yeah, G sharp or A flat. So G sharp, A flat. We could call it either one. A to B. Is there a note that fits between A and B? Yes, there is. B flat will fit between them. So these are not a semitone apart, they are a tone apart. And then B to C, well, we found our answer. Yes, B to C is a semitone. B sharp, we just call it C. C flat, B. Now it is much easier if you can visualize a piano keyboard in your head. But if you're not studying piano, then you might not have that available to you. So you've just got to know which of these notes are a semitone and which of these notes are a tone apart. Okay, 3.5. Circle true or false for each statement. A. There is one flat in the key signature of F major. True. True, F major just has a B flat in it. One flat. B. There is one sharp in the key signature of D major. I'm pretty sure there was a question about this up here. One box shows this key signature of D major. Yep, there it is. Two sharps. Remember we spoke about that earlier. So, false. There is not one sharp. There are two sharps in D major. F sharp and C sharp. Question C. This is the second degree of the scale of G major. Alright, so what note is that? It's an A. What's the first note in the scale of G major? Well, there's your big clue there. It's G. So, G, A. Correct. A is the second degree in the scale of G major. Question D. This is the fourth degree of the scale of F major. Alright, so what note is this, first of all? We're in the bass clef. Alright? We're in the bass clef. And in the bass clef, this line is B. Alright? B. So now let's count 4 notes down and see if we get to F. So B down this space is A. Down this is G. And down to this space here is F. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. F, G, A, B. And it's asking, is this the fourth degree of the scale? Well, watch out, because what's the key signature for F major? It's one flat, all right? And that flat is B flat. And is this a B flat? No, it is a B natural. So this is not the fourth degree of the scale of F major. If it was written like this, then it would be, but it's not. It's a B natural. So it is not the fourth degree of the scale of F major. All right, 3.6. Tick one box to show the correctly written scale of G major ascending. Alright, so we know the key signature for G major. We know that it's 1 sharp, right? So G major is 1 sharp. So which of these scales have 1 sharp in them? That one does, that one does, and that one does. So they've all got 1 sharp. Alright, so that's not going to help us. We just have to know that it's an F sharp. It's an F sharp. Oh, 1 sharp is F sharp. Right, is this an F sharp? Well, let's take a look at the clef. That's a bass clef. And in the bass clef, that note is A. So that would be A sharp. So no. A sharp. And let's write out the names of the notes of all of these bars. So that is B. So already we can see this is wrong because it wouldn't be a G major scale if it started on B. D, E, F, G, A sharp, B. No, so that's not it. All right. What is this note here? That's a G. All right, so it could be this one. And of course, keep in mind that we're working in bass clef for all of these. So G, A, sharp. No, it's not going to be that one. Remember, we're looking for an F sharp. B, C, D, E, F, and G. So this is our answer down here. And let's just double check. Bass clef, bottom line is G. Space up is A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Fantastic. Ending on G. There's our G major scale ascending in the bass clef with our correct accidental on F. All right, 3.7, true or false? This is the scale of C major descending. True or false? Well, it's false, but let's just go in and write the names of the notes down and analyze it. We're in bass clef. In the bass clef, this is the note of C. So it looks like we're getting off to a good start. C major descending's got to start on a C. But then we have a B flat. So if this was major, C major, that would be a B natural. But this is a B flat. That's not part of the key of C major. So this is something else. That's A, G, F, E, D, C. And we went in and wrote these out anyway, but we didn't really need to. But no, this is false. This is not a descending C major scale. .8. Cross X. Cross the two incorrect notes in the following scale. D major descending. All right, so D major. What is the key signature for D major? It's 2 sharps. All right, F sharp and C sharp. So first note D. All right. Second note C sharp. Looking good. B. A. Going down the scale here. G. F. What should it be? Should be an F sharp, but no, this is an F natural. So that's one of the wrong notes there. E, that's fine. And then this note here, D sharp, that's definitely not in the key of D major. So that is incorrect. (4.1) For each example, write one note to form the named interval. Your note should be higher than the given note. The key is D major. All right, so we are in the key of D major, and we want to write a fourth up. And remember, when you do this, the note you count from is 1. So this D here is 1, and we're going to count up the scale. D, 1, E, 2, F sharp, 3, G, 4. So G, that is our fourth. It's the fourth. Example B. All right, we're in the bass clef, and we have a D, and we want to write the second. So what's the second note in the scale of D major? Well, it's pretty easy. It's just one above D. It's E. I'll tell you what, let's write out the names of the notes here. D, B, there it is, and D to E. That's our second. All right, eighth, or what does this mean? Octave. All right, so that means octave. That means octave. So that's a D. We just write an octave above it, which is this D up here. If we count up the scale, we get 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octave. Okay, now they want us to write a fifth. We're in the key of D major, so let's count up the D major scale, starting from D. So D, E, F, G, A. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or space, line, space, line, space. And we get A. Right, now a sixth. So the sixth note in the key of D major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From D, that's, if we count up the scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. There it is. That's our sixth. 4.2. Tick one box to show the correct number of each interval. The key is C major. Tick one box to show the correct number of each. All right, so we've got to figure out what that interval is and pick the correct option down here. We're in the key of C major, so we're going to do just like we did here, except now we're trying to figure out what's written down. So this is a C, and let's count up the scale. C, D, E. 1, 2, 3. That's an E, so it's a third. All right, next one. C and C. Okay, well, we did a very similar thing up here when we went from D to D, and now we're going C to C, so it's an octave. We've just gone up an octave. Right, what is this? Bass clef. In the bass clef, that is a C. So we're counting up the scale. C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, fourth. And let's write the notes up here. C, C, there we go. Example D. Right. Again, we're in the bass clef. We're starting on the note of C. And now we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So it's a seventh. We've counted 7 steps up the C major scale, and we got to a B. Last example, the note of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a G. C, D, E, F, G. It's a fifth. Section 5, tonic triads. Circle true or false for each statement. So, question A. This is the tonic triad of G major. True or false? So what is a tonic triad? How do we build one? Which notes of the scale do we need to build a triad like this? And in G major. So let's first start by saying we need the first, third, and fifth note of the scale. And we stack them on top of each other, and we get a tonic triad. What are those notes in the key of G major? Well, we know the first note in the key of G major is G. It's in the name. It's where the scale starts. And now we just count G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, G, A, B. So the third note is B. And what is the fifth note in the G major scale? G, A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's D. So our tonic triad in the key of G major is going to be G, B, D. Let's see if this follows. G, B, D. Yep, this is indeed tonic triad in the key of G major. Question B. This is the tonic triad of F major. So again, 1, 3, and 5 in F major. Well, what's the first note in the scale of F major? It's F. What's the third? F, G, A. And what's the fifth? F, G, A, B flat, C. So F, A, C are the notes that we need to stack on top of each other in that order to get the tonic triad. Well, not necessarily in that order. Just these 3 notes. So what's that? That's a C. All right, let's just write it down there. C. What's that? That's a E. And this is G. So E and G. Oh, no. False. That is not an F major tonic triad. We've got one common note there, C, but we're missing the F and the A, so no. All right, question C. This is the tonic triad of D major. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's figure out the notes 1, 3, and 5 in the key of D major. First one's going to be D, because that's where we start our scale, on D. D, E, F sharp. 1, 2, 3. D, E, F. Sharp is our third note. And our fifth note is D, E, F sharp, G, A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. So we need D, F sharp, and A to make this tonic triad. Right, what have we got here? We're in the treble clef, and our bottom note is a D. All right. Our second note up is F sharp. Looking good. So we found D there at the bottom. We found F sharp. And what's this note up here? B. Oh no. B. No, we need an A. So this is not the tonic triad in D major. This is something else. We are missing an A. So false. .2. Add one missing note to complete each triad with the tonic as the lowest note. Use accidentals if necessary. All right, so question A. We're in the bass clef, and we need to build an F major triad. So we already know that F major is F, A, C. That we've done this in an example in the question before. So we need an F, an A, and a C. So what's this bottom note here? This is an F. And what's this note here? This is a C. So we just need to put an A in to complete this triad. And this space here, this is A. So we just add our A in there. And we have our F major triad. All right, question B. We're in the bass clef, and they are asking us for a D major. So once more, this is one we've done. We know that D major is D, F sharp, and A. So what have we got to work with in question B? We've got an F sharp, all right? I'll just write it up here so you can see. We've got an F sharp, and we've got an A. So we need to put D in here somewhere, and D will fit nicely underneath, and that gives us a lovely D major triad. Question C, we are now in the treble clef, and they want us to write a C major triad. So what are the notes that we need to make a C major triad? Remember, we want notes 1, 3, and 5 in the scale. The first note's going to be C. The third note is C, D, E. 1, 2, 3. C, D, E. All right, E. That's our third note. Fifth note in the scale of C major, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's G, C, E, G. Okay, so we know the notes we need. Let's see what we've got. What's this note? What do we call that? That is C. Good. What is this one? Bottom line, treble clef. That's an E. So we got a C. We got an E. We just need to add a G. There's a nice spot there for our G to go. And we've got our C major, D major, and F major triads. Okay, 5.3. Circle the correct key for each tonic triad. All right, bass clef. What is our bottom note here? F, A, C. Well, F, A, C. We wrote one up here. That's F major. Oops, let's try that again. F, A, C is an F major triad. All right. Question B. We are in the bass clef. And what is this note? What's this note in the bass clef? That is G. G, A, B, B, C, D. G, B, D. Another one we've done before. So that's going to be G major. All right, question C. Treble clef now. Our lowest note's D. Next note up is F sharp. Next note up is A. D, F sharp, A. Well, look at that. We've got it up here. D major, D, F sharp, A. D, F sharp, A. So this is D major. And now, question D. In the treble clef, the lowest note here is a C. Next one up is E. And our final note at the top is a G. So C, E, G. Which triad is that? We've got it up here. It's C major, C, E, G. So that is a C major triad. All right, question 6. Terms and signs. Tick one box for each term or sign. Right, staccato means accent, fairly quick, loud, detached. Well, I'm pretty sure the answer is accent. Staccato is a type of accent to play the notes nice and short. It's definitely not a tempo, and it's definitely not a dynamic marking. Okay, decrescendo. So, D crescendo. What does decrescendo mean? Getting louder? No, that would just be a crescendo. Getting quicker? No, that's a tempo. We're not talking about tempo here. We're talking about dynamics. Decrescendo is a type of dynamic marking, and it means that we're gradually getting quieter. So there's our answer there. Adagio. So this is just something that you have to remember, that adagio means slow. MP. What does MP mean? Moderately loud? No. Moderately quiet? Yes. Mezzo piano. Moderately quiet. And now we have a tempo marking. So crotchet equals 120. So crotchet equals 120 crotchet beats. No, this is telling us that we have to play 120 crotchets in a minute. So 120 crotchet beats in a minute. We could also say the BPM. BPM is beats per minute. 120 beats per minute. What kind of beats are they? They're crotchet beats. So 120 crotchet beats in a minute. All right, section 7. Look at this melody and then answer the questions that follow. 7.1, true or false? The melody gets gradually louder towards the end. It gets gradually louder towards the end. So where is towards the end? Is it here? No. Is it here? No. Here? We're getting close to the end. I mean, this is the last bar. But what is happening here? We're coming from a double forte, which is very loud, for these two bars. And then the music is decrescendoing to a mezzo forte, like a medium loud. So it's getting softer towards the end. So the melody gets gradually louder towards the end? False. No, there's a decrescendo there. It's getting quieter. 7.2. Tick the bar number that contains all the notes of the tonic triad of C major. Right, so now we have to go hunting for notes. Is it bar 1, bar 2, bar 5, or bar 6? Right, let's find bar 1, bar 2, bar 5, and bar 6. There's bar 1, bar 2, bar 5, and bar 6. Which of these have all the notes of a tonic triad of C major? And what are the notes in a tonic triad of C major? C, E, and G. So we're looking for a bar with C, E, and G in them. That's a C, and that's a B. So that couldn't be it anyway, because there's only 2 notes in that bar, and we need 3. But B is not in the tonic triad of C major. Right, what about this one? Yeah, we got a C. Okay, we got a B. That's not in. A, that's not in the tonic triad. G, yes, that is. There's G there. And E. All right, so we found our bar. It's bar 2, C, E, and G. There we go. Let's just go through bar 5 and 6 anyway and see if maybe there's 2 answers to this question. So bar 5, we've got a G. Yeah, that's part of a C major triad. F, no, F is not. E, yes, E is part of. D, no, and another D. So no, bar 5 is not the answer. And bar 6, F, no. F is not in a C major triad. E, yeah, E is. D, no, D is not in a C major triad. C is in a C major triad. And D, no. All right, so our answer was bar 2. So we got it right. Let's move on to 7.3. Complete the following 3 sentences by ticking 1 box for each. The longest note in the melody is a minim, semibreve, crotchet, dotted minim. Well, let's go up and have another look and see if we can find a really long note. Well, I can already see that there's a semibreve there, and we know that that's 4 beats long. And there's nothing else in this piece of music that we hold for longer than a semibreve. That is 3 beats. It's a dotted minim. That's 3 beats. That's 4 beats. That's 1 beat. That's a half a beat. And that's 1.5 beats. So yeah, our semibreve is going to be the longest note in this piece of music. So the longest note is semibreve. All right, question B. Bar 1 has the same pitches as bar 4, bar 5, bar 7, bar 8. All right, so bar 1 is, let's just redo this. What are the pitches in this bar? C and B. So bar by bar, we're going to find a bar that has the same pitches in here. And I can already see a bar that's exactly the same as bar 1. And it's bar 7. See that? This bar and this bar are exactly the same. C and B, C and B. Does this have a C and a B in it? Yes. Does this have a C and a B in it? No. No, this doesn't either. This doesn't, and this doesn't. So this does have C and B in it, but it's not exactly the same. Bar 7 is our answer. Okay, question C. The letter name of the highest note in the melody is. Right, let's go and look for the highest note in the melody. So we just want to find a note that is up on the stave. Something high up on the stave. So let's go in on our top line, our F line here, and see if there's anything on this top line. Nothing so far. Let's go down to the second line. And we've hit something that's actually above the top line. And it's this G over here. So it's a good job that we wrote this G in here, because now we know what note it is. All right, let's check if there's anything higher than G. Anything at all. We got an F, but this G is still higher than that. Anything? No. So our answer here is G. This G here, that's our highest note. Right, well, we have completed our first theory exam, grade 1. Thank you for following along. I hope you were able to pay attention all the way through. And best of luck for your exams, and I hope this helped. Thank you. See you in the next video.